You know your multi-level marketing pyramid scheme that's in pre-launch is in trouble when other MLM participants and other MLMs are already calling your MLM a scam. And that's exactly what's going on right now with Make Wellness. Do you remember Dr. Jen? So I had infiltrated the Make Wellness Facebook group. And then I had infiltrated this team within this group called Team Impact. And in Team Impact, they have all these resources that they're continuing to add to for their participants. Like there's like recruiting people. It's like, this is how you can recruit others. And these are scripts that you can use. And we're a family and we love you. So one of these questions is it safe for pregnancy or breastfeeding? And the answer was, well, Dr. Jen said, if I was pregnant and I was breastfeeding, I would totally take these supplements. I think this is the Dr. Jen that they're referring to. So apparently I just stumbled across this reel today, and it's made by somebody who's in Young Living. Now they believe that, not all MLMs are bad, that their company is different, and that they stand behind, the ones that operate with integrity. And interestingly enough, are throwing serious shade at Make Wellness. And they cite as a resource a video that was made by a Live Good participant. So another person in another pyramid scheme that thinks their, company is different. But they're dishing a lot of dirt on this Dr. Jen. So apparently this Dr. Jen, well, you're going to see, I don't want to give any spoiler alerts. I want to just kind of set up what we're going to watch here. And then you can see because it's so good, and it gets even better. So because embedded in the comments of this reel are comments from the man himself, Justin Prince, this busy CEO and founder of Make Wellness, who has no time for trolls and haters, graces everyone with his presence with at least like 5 bullet points. I think he's left 6 comments. 1.1, point 2, point 3. He even tries to like intimidate this Young Living participant by using, it's like, well, as a woman, I think that you should support other women, which I called out in my Instagram stories. And I'll give you the exact way I described it. I described it as Justin Prince illustrates his limp dick, passive-aggressive attempt of trying to assert dominance over a woman. Make Wellness has a white knight in JP. And I'll let you decide if you agree with me or not. So this is the real.
Wait. What?
So let's talk about our NDA company. And this is so fun for me, actually. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this up. It is so crazy. This industry is insane. So I was in Euphoria, right? They flew me to Texas. And this lady, Dr. Jen Myers, she was the face of the company. Dr. Jen Myers pled guilty for writing prescriptions without a license, okay? She was the face of Euphoria. Wonder why they went out of business. The whole thing was a mess, beginning to end, but it was like DNA nutrition, and you had to swab your cheeks, send it in, and it was just this whole exciting thing. And I don't even think they were in business for a year either, so that was another failed pre-launch with Terry LaCour. Anyway, Dr. Jen Myers is back. She's the one behind the DNA, the NDA DNA company, because there's more DNA stuff coming. So I was looking at the products, and all of that. But now she is back, you guys, with a different name. This is so crazy. People are nuts. I'm looking at these pictures. I'm like, that's Dr. Jen Myers from Euphoria, but now she's Dr. Jen Milks. Did she get married? I don't know, but you can't find anything on her online from pleading guilty. You got to do your research. You got to really do your research. But this is what I'm going to tell you guys. When somebody brings you a pre-launch, don't get excited. When somebody is dropping names, like with Euphoria, it was like, what's his face? I don't really like his training. He's like the #1 trainer in the world for network marketing, Eric Worre. That's his name. Eric Worre is doing all the training for Euphoria, and people were coming in droves because, you know, the name dropping. Oh, Eric Worre is doing the training. It's got to be good. Yeah, it didn't even last a year. He was involved in some big scandal with some like Bitcoin company, but people love the name dropping. Now it's the Justin Prince, right? And, you know, I don't even know him, but great guy, right? I don't know. Oh, Justin Prince is like launching this thing and you got to sign the NDA. And Dr. Jen Milks, who pled guilty to charges, you guys, the court ordered her to stay away. I think it's 10 years, 10 years, Dr. Jen, stay away from anything related to DNA stuff. Like, don't call yourself DNA expert. Don't be calling yourself doctor, whatever. You don't have a license. You are not even allowed to apply for another license for many years to come just because you have a different name. She's back. So she's the face of the company. But now the word's getting out, right? Because people are like, isn't that Dr. Jen that pled guilty when she was in Euphoria, prescribing without a license? So people are putting it together. So I'm sure that just give it like 60 days and they will make an announcement. Oh, she's no longer working with us. You know, now we have this person behind it. You guys, it's all coming from Liqueur Enterprises. It's always the same products. It's always the same stuff. This industry is so crazy. And do you know why it's so crazy? Because so many of you continue to follow for this crap without doing any research, and you just keep going from one thing to the next, to the next. Every time you move, you hype it up along with everybody else, and then you look like a fool a few months down the road. Stop the madness. Do research. Somebody comes to you with a pre-launch, whatever. I mean, I would seriously, if I hear the word launch, I'm like, where are my running shoes? Like, get me as far away from this as possible, because every pre-launch, so they say that over 95% of pre-launches fail within 12 to 24 months. If I join, it's 100%. Every single pre-launch I have ever joined failed within the first 2 years. And I should have written down a list. I have at least 8 pre-launches minimum that failed shortly after I joined. Like, it does not work. Pre-launches are horrible. And it's so sad, all the hype that goes around it. 4,000 people, 5,000 people joined in the first 30 seconds. Have you heard that one? Oh my gosh, this is going to be so huge, you guys. Like 10,000 people joined in the first minute. Yeah, it's because you guys created all this hype behind it. But once the 10,000 people see that you truly have nothing all that great to offer, they're all canceling. So there's no advantage in getting 10,000 people in 30 seconds in any company. Also, when they do like, it's free to sign up. Well, then it's nothing, because once they have to pay, they're not going to pay. So don't tell me that 100,000 people joined for free. They're not going to pay, so nobody joined, really. So it is so much hype. You just have to do your research. Number one, I would never, don't even waste your time. Wait. If you see a company that it's in pre-launch and you think it's going to be good, take your time, wait. Just watch and see what they're doing. Don't let them pressure you into joining now, because if you don't, you're a loser. Just watch. 6 months down the road, it'll be done, and then you wasted no money. You didn't ruin your reputation. You didn't look like a fool all over social media. And if you do decide to join a pre-launch, don't tell anybody. Do it like secret on the low. Don't come on your page and be like, I just joined the pre-launch. Do you want to sign the NDA? And by the way, Dr. Jen, who pled guilty, is the face of my company. Like, this is so crazy. I swear, when I saw that, I'm going through my research. I'm like, this is nuts. It's her. She's back. They keep recycling people. They keep recycling products. That's just how the industry works. That's why it gets such a bad name. It's really sad that we have to be in this industry, because it could be good, but then there's so much of that going on. Awakened, they did the reboot. They all reboot, right? Remember the Transact card that rebooted into Finmore, then rebooted into Nello Life? Are they even around? Does anybody know? I haven't heard anything about them. Nello.
It's called Nilo Life, and I know.
life. Like it was one of those, like 50,000 people joined in 30 seconds. And now what happened to them? I haven't heard anything in a long time. I have to do some research on that one. Awakened, rebooted into soul, like SOL with like a dash on the top of the O, like soul. I don't know. And that's a very interesting one because they rebooted into like a company that's all like about solstice, and like the meetings are at 11:11, like it's just weird stuff like that, like law of attraction. And anyway, so it's all the reboot, to recycle the people that were in jail, like Richard Smith, who pled guilty to criminal charges. And he was the face of Transact Card, and everybody was joining like it was the most exciting thing ever. Oh my gosh, I own my own bank now. In the meantime, I'm looking at it. When they first reached out to me, I'm like, Richard Smith is involved? And the guy like pled guilty to criminal charges. He stole millions of dollars from people. And so when the word got out, then they're like, no, Richard Smith, he stepped down. No, he didn't. He never stepped down. Come on now. Oh no, he stepped down. And people are like, oh no, he really did step down. And then they reboot. So no, I would never join a pre-launch. If I saw a company that I'm like, oh, this looks good, I would wait at least 6 months to join, because 95% chances they will be gone in 6 months, and it's going to save me a lot of headache. So you guys do research. You know, somebody reaches out to you, they're like, hey, this company, that company, there's a pre-launch every single day right now. Every day there's a pre-launch. Do some research. Don't just join. Do some deep research, because I had to really research to realize that Dr. Jen Myers became Dr. Jen Milks. And how is she back so soon? That's really soon. I think it's like 3 years or so since I was in Euphoria. So anyway, and
it's showing this article now, which I'm going to show you. Just letting it play out. Almost at the end of the video there. All right. Look at this. This is fantastic. Okay. So first off, this individual who's in Live Good is just knocking it out of the park. And I have a lot of respect for this person. And she's so close to seeing that what she's part of, you know, she's made a number of great points, which I agree with a lot of what she has said. Mentioning, first off, like mentioning Eric Worre, and then the whole Trader's Domain, what he's been involved with, like all these people who have been involved in that Ponzi scheme. And CoffeeZilla has reported on that. Behind MLM just got the master list and listed like a whole bunch of other names that have been involved in this thing. And she's right. She talks about how, you know, she'd been a part of 8 other pre-launches, which I am taking to mean it's other MLMs. And I'm like, you're so close to realizing that this is what you call the industry. It's not an industry, it is fraud. And even the one that you're a part of, which is Live Good. And I'm sorry to say that. And I hope you don't, you know, think I'm a hater, but even Live Good is an MLM. They're the same. They have different compensation plans, different levels of scam, but a scam is a scam, and it can have really good products. But you can see there's really smart, creative, and like switched on people. And they're so, like, they can even see that this Make Wellness is a scam. Now, I want everybody to be able to get out of multi-level marketing, but this was just so well done. And how she just like spelled it all out. This is going to do more, I think, like an MLM participant speaking to other MLM participants than anything. I think it's so awesome. Yes, she's in a multi-level marketing company, and I do hope that she gets out one day, but that's not going to be the topic of this video. This is just about Make Wellness. So I thought I would just poke around the internet and just see what I could find as, you know, she described all these things about this Dr. Jen. So this was the first thing I found. Now, I don't 100% know if this is the same Dr. Jen that they're referring to. I am just coming at this as if I am a participant in a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, a scam. But I think that mine is different, and I'm really excited about this new opportunity with Make Wellness. Maybe I purchased Modaire's collagen on a spoon and I thought, let's go, I'm ready to do this. And maybe I'm going to be starting to look at other pieces of content. And I'm not an investigative journalist. I haven't hired a private detective. All I'm trying to do is just trying to do my research by going on Google. So that's what I'm doing here as well. That's my approach. So I'm like, I'm going to fucking Google it. And this is what I've come up with. So if this is the right person, I don't know. So this is all just what I think is going on here. This is what's come up. So, all right. St. George woman pleads guilty to illegally portraying herself as a doctor. So this article was published January 27th, 2022. A St. George woman who is licensed to practice acupuncture has pleaded guilty to portraying herself as a doctor, during which time prosecutors say she issued more than 2,100 prescriptions. This to me sounds like it's the same person, but I don't 100% know for sure. This archive news stories, blah, blah. Okay, St. George, a southern Utah woman accused of illegally portraying herself as a doctor and issuing more than 2,000 prescriptions to patients, has pleaded guilty to practicing a profession without a license, a third-degree felony. Between June 21st, 2018 and July 1st, 2021, Jennifer Renee Myers prescribed over 2,100 prescription drugs to patients without a medical license. Myers prescribed these controlled substances by using the Drug Enforcement Administration number of a physician assistant without his consent. Whoa. Myers also maintained medical records examining, diagnosing, and treating these patients without the proper medical license, according to charging documents. Myers, 42, of St. George, was licensed to practice acupuncture in Utah from 2016 until January the 6th. At that time, she agreed to surrender her license to the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing for 10 years. According to a violation report, the division first issued a cease and desist order and a $500 fine to Myers in 2018 for her referring to herself on business cards, advertisements, and social media as Dr. Jen Myers, when in fact she was not licensed to do so. In 2019, she received another cease and desist order, accompanied with a $5,000 fine for continuing to represent herself as a doctor, the report states. Then from 2019 through 2020, while Myers was employed by a chiropractic office, she provided medical services to at least 75 patients, including questioning patients about hormones and their medication history, conducting health assessments on patients, performing physical exams, ordering lab tests, and diagnosing medical conditions, according to the report. Myers also wrote over 2,100 prescriptions for patients and utilized another individual's DEA license without his consent to prescribe Schedule 2 to 4 controlled substances to her patients, the division report states. In October, Myers was issued her third cease and desist order and a $10,000 fine. I think she was going for no. In addition to surrendering her license, Myers was ordered to pay a $20,000 fine to the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing, and she agrees not to apply for licensure with the division in any occupation or profession until 10 years has elapsed, according to the report. In exchange for her guilty plea, in 5th District Court, prosecutors indicated in court documents they will ask a judge to sentence her to 3 years of probation, and said the division would agree to dismiss the fine issued in October. Myers also agreed as part of her plea deal to not refer to herself as Dr. Myers, the DNA doc, the genetic counselor, or any title or designation tending to indicate that the person is a genetic counselor, medical practitioner, or as an expert of any profession that requires a license in Utah. So that was the first exhibit. Okay, the second thing that I came across was I'd stumbled across this on Reddit, and I had taken a screenshot of it and I'd like filed it away. I thought I'd come back to it. But then I thought, okay, today's the day. I've got to see if this is true. So I took this screenshot, and then I actually went onto the website to see if I could find this information myself. Like it wasn't just, doctored up, so to speak. This is the screenshot that I'd found on Reddit, and then I did a screen recording of my research here for you. I zoomed in on it. Like, oh, there it is. Dr. or like Jennifer Myers. And then I typed in Jennifer Myers at this website. If this is the same person, I don't know. It sounds like it is. And I just showed you how I clicked on it. And then I Control F, and then I found where it says Jennifer F. Myers. So what does this screenshot say? What it says, Myers, Jennifer Renee, acupuncturist, license number, docket number, Hurricane, Utah, cause of action order. Okay, and then date. It said respondent engaged in unlawful and unprofessional conduct that affects her license. Respondent voluntarily surrendered her license to practice as an acupuncturist. Respondent may not reapply for an acupuncture license for a period of 10 years. And the date was January the 6th, 2022. And this is the next thing I came across. So I typed in Dr. Jen Myers Euphoria, and it's spelled like UFO. And then this is what I found. Supporting your DNA with nutrition with Dr. Jen Myers. On this episode of Health Made Radio, Dr. Michael Karfeld interviews Dr. Jen Myers about health and health challenges from an evolutionary perspective. Listen to the fascinating discoveries that have been made in the area of DNA and genetic SNPs that allow for testing to determine what dietary changes, nutritional supplementation, and lifestyle modification will enhance your energy, stronger recovery, and better cope with daily stress. Sounds like this could be LifeWave, eh? So brutal. Okay, this is the next thing I wanted to show you. This was a Facebook post that was made August the 1st, and I saw a lot of these. Oh, this has been one of those ones that have been copied and pasted. So these are people in Make Wellness that are talking about this Dr. Jen. So I can officially announce the exciting news that I'm officially a founding consultant in Make Wellness. I'm just going to skip down a few paragraphs here. Our Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Jen Milks, is using AI-derived bioactive peptides from nature to create products that our bodies are able to fully recognize and absorb, allowing us to function optimally. Now, about this time, you might be wondering, well, what happened to Dr. Jen Milks? Did this person that predicted in 60 days, this person might no longer be involved in Make Wellness? Well, we have Justin Prince himself to thank for getting that answer. I'm sending you this in good faith that you're wanting to share the truth with your audience and are not an online troll or hater. With the said, I'm sure he meant that said, let me share some truth with you. 1, Terry LaCour is not involved in our business. Never has been. Well, whoop-de-fucking-doo-dah. 2, for personal reasons, Jen is no longer with the company. Wait, Dr. Jen is no longer with Make Wellness? Is this the same Jen? That's what I want to know. Is Dr. Jen Myers and Dr. Jen Milks the same person? And is this the same Dr. Jen that said she would breastfeed if she was pregnant, no problem? She was a consultant, and we decided to not move forward with her contract when we learned this information. So wait a second. There's a contradiction here. For personal reasons, Jen is no longer with the company. But when we found out about this information, we freaking got rid of her contract. Doesn't sound like that's personal reasons. It was a mutual decision, and we wish her the best moving forward. It's like, I think it's best that you don't work for us anymore. So isn't it weird? I just wanted to drill down a little bit more on this. She was a consultant. So what did she consult with? If this is the same person that has had this felony and was writing 2,100 prescriptions. Are you fucking kidding me? And this person you've chosen to be a consultant with your company and you don't see a fucking problem with that? Oh my God. You cannot make this shit up. Really? Make Wellness is a flaming turkey. It is as much of a flaming turkey as Finmore ever was. I cannot wait to see this company tank. It's best moving. That would, if you hired somebody as a consultant to like give you information and you found out their past was just like a con artist and you decided to still take that information and proceed, like the joke is now on you. Oh my God. All right. And then said, I will DM you the article. It won't let me paste in here. What article? I was in my Instagram stories. I'm like, I want to see this article. 3, As you can imagine, there is always more to the story. Oh, we know. There's always a lot more to the story. This article is about the doctor she testified against. I'm confident that as a woman, you will be proud. I'm sure he meant you will be proud that she stood up for other women's rights. This is the kind of fuckery that just fucking rallies me up. Like, I just can't fucking wait to do this. This one, right up the fucking sphincter. This is the kind of fuckery that MLM CEOs, MLM coaches like to employ against women to try to get them from to stop speaking. They're like, oh, I know. I'm going to say you're not about empowering other women at all. So if when you're looking at multi-level marketing Huns and they're saying like, you don't stand for women, they get this shit from a lot of these people who run these companies. And the irony of this limp dick passive aggressive behavior coming from fucking Justin Prince, who is at the top of the Modair pyramid scheme. How many women did he fucking exploit over the years in Modair? You cannot even make this shit up. Dude has the balls, not very big, to go into this person's Instagram comment section and leave this as if he said something. I'm sure you'll be proud that she stood up for other women's rights. She was convicted, if it's the same one, of writing 2,100 prescriptions. What in the fuck is the matter? What is the matter with you? He really thinks he did something there. This does not bode well for Make Wellness. Holy shit. If you're in Make Wellness, just get out. You haven't had to pay anything yet. Just get out. Welcome to the anti-MLM movement. Okay. He's still going, though. We still have lots to hear from Justin. For one thing that is clear from your video is that you do not like or recommend startup companies. I think that's fine. You fucking imagine him typing this out? I wonder if he types at his desk or if he's on his phone. If he's on the toilet, where is Justin Prince typing this shit out? However, as you know, all companies had to start somewhere, including companies that you love and are passionate about. Oh my God. I have a feeling that he's at his desk. He likes to role play as a businessman. That's what I think. He has a little bit of a drink. Maybe he's drinking Prove It ketones. What else is he doing? He doesn't use Modair products anymore. He does have his Modair box positioned behind him. He looks at it occasionally. He has a mirror too on the wall, and it catches the corner, like the reflection of his box, and he looks at it. He's like fond, and he has fond memories of it. And he'll take his ketones from Prove It and he'll drink it. It's kind of bubbly. I don't know if they're bubbly, but let's just pretend they are. And has a little burp. And then he continues typing. Raspberry is his favorite flavor. Okay, 5. I wish you well in what you are doing in life. So can you fucking imagine the CEO of this multi-level marketing pyramid scheme who was terminated from the Modair pyramid scheme and apparently had somebody in his employ that was found guilty of prescribing over 2,100 prescription drugs to patients without a medical license, and doesn't have any accountability for extremely poor decision making. No vetting of the employees. This is going to be such a bad reflection on his company, and instead tries to blame the person who's exposing this, which was this Young Living participant. It's like, I'm sure you don't like startups. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just own your shit. This is why your company is doomed to failure. This is why all multi-level marketing companies are ultimately doomed to failure. Because none of you guys can take accountability for any fucking thing you do. You always have to blame someone else. Even when you have somebody who's written over 2,100 prescriptions, you've got to go into the freaking comments of somebody in Young Living and try to say, I'm sure as a woman that you would be, proud of her for being a woman. Jesus fucking Christ. You cannot make this shit up. I do not know what the fuck this is, but this is exquisite. It's the exquisite pinching that happens of the blue glove. That's what's going on here. All right. So I wish you well in what you are doing in your life. It looks like you may be a Young Living distributor. I know many, well, it says it in her bio, her biography there, or whatever it's called. I know many of YL's leaders and top corporate team. Well, good fucking for you. Can you imagine? I know many of them. I know more than you do. You're probably just one of the 99% of people that fail. Fucking cock. And top corporate team, and have met the ownership team and have nothing but kind words and good vibes to say about all of them. That's why the implication is that that's why you're just this lowly participant. He's trying to make it look, oh, look at how kind and generous I am. Even though you're throwing shade at my piece of shit multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, I can come into your comment section and show you grace. And it's just disgusting. You can see the manipulation. It's backfiring. Hope this helps you have some additional clarity so you can share the truth with your audience. Well, you don't have to worry about that because I'm sure as fuck sharing the truth with mine. You're welcome. That's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Hello? Yes, this is Baby Doll.